For the last decade, the best player in the world has for the most part either been Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi. And while Luka Modric has broken a cycle that has lasted for a decade, people still felt like he did not deserve it. But before Messi and Ronaldo made the Ballon d'Or and the FIFA Best Player of the Year award a property of two men, it used to change nearly every year. Now for the people that don't know, FIFA has been presenting the FIFA Best Player of the Year award since 1991, and France Football, a French-based football magazine, has been presenting the Ballon d'Or since 1956. And while in modern times it is expected that the FIFA Best Player will also win the Ballon d'Or, that was always not the case. Matter of fact, it was very common that the FIFA World Player of the Year would be different to the Ballon d'Or winner, or even the top three would be completely different. Like in the 2001 season, the top three of the Ballon d'Or was Oliver Kahn at number 3, Raul at number 2, and Michael Owen at number 1, while the FIFA World Player of the Year's top 3 was Raul at number 3, Beckham at 2, and Luis Figo at number 1. So you see, there was a huge debate at those times on who was the best. So let's talk about how Thierry Henry should have at least one of these trophies, and the specific season that I think he should have won either of them. But before we do that, let's look at Thierry Henry's career, starting at the beginning. Thierry Henry started his career at Monaco under none other than Arsene Wenger, who initially played Henry on the right flank due to his petrifying pace, making him a nightmare for defenders. He quickly established himself as a regular at Monaco and ended up being named French Young Footballer of the Year as he helped his team win the title in the 96-97 season, making him a hot commodity in the football world. He would soon go on to win the World Cup with France in 98, cementing his status as one of the best players in the world at the time. And after the 99 season, Italian giants Juventus would come calling, paying £10.5 million for the Frenchman to go to Italy. But Henry's time at Juventus was less than ideal. He only played 16 times for the old lady and looked out of place in the Italian league as it boasted some of the best defenders in the world. Henry looked lost as a winger, and what was once a promising career looked quite bleak as the Frenchman struggled for playing time in Turin. But Henry was too talented a player to be put on the sideline, and Arsene Wenger, who was the coach that had given him his start at Monaco as a winger, now at Arsenal, spent £11 million to acquire the services of his fellow Frenchman. But this time, he wanted Henry to play as a striker. At the time, Arsenal had sold Nicolas Anelka to Real Madrid for £25 million and were looking for a replacement. And although Henry was not used to playing in this role, he took up the challenge anyways. In his first 8 games at Arsenal, Thierry Henry failed to score a single goal, even admitting late on that he had to relearn the art of goal scoring. However, in his 9th game against Southampton, Henry finally broke his duck and scored his first ever Arsenal goal. He would go on to score an impressive 26 goals that season, instantly becoming a fan favourite. He would go on to win 2 Premier League titles, 2 FA Cups, including the Invincible season, which we will talk about again later on in this video, when we talk about how he got robbed by FIFA and France Football for their Best Player of the Year awards. Henry left Arsenal as their all-time leading goal scorer to go to FC Barcelona, where he won 2 La Liga titles and the trophy that he was chasing for so long, the Champions League. Henry would go on to finish his career in the MLS with New York Red Bulls and a brief but very memorable loan spell back to Arsenal. Now, while Henry was a key player in the Champions League success back in 2009, it was pretty much established then that the best player in the world was Lionel Messi. And while his time at Barcelona is memorable, it is his time at Arsenal that has made Henry a certified legend, not only in the Premier League, but as one of the very best of all time. Now that we have gotten a brief yet complete history of Henry as a player, we can talk about the exact season which I think Thierry Henry should have and deserved to win the FIFA Player of the Year or the Ballon d'Or. But to understand why I think this, we have to go back to the 2003-2004 Premier League season. Arsenal and Manchester United at the time, the 2 biggest clubs in England, are battling it out for the title. And honestly guys, if you're too young to remember or just don't know Arsenal and Manchester United, in the late 90s and early 2000s was one of the most exciting rivalries in world football, and there's a whole documentary about it, not only on the rivalry between them, but the rivalry between Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger. I'll link it in the description. If you like football history like me, then I'm sure you'll enjoy this documentary. But back to our video. Coming into the 2003-2004 season, United were the reigning champions of England. Arsenal had only one key signing during the summer transfer window, and that is goalkeeper Jens Lehmann. This was due to the fact that Arsenal were on the verge of building the new stadium, which we call today the Emirates. A stadium, in my opinion, is the reason for a lot of the suffering that Arsenal are going through today, but that's another topic for another day. Looking back, however, it's not like Arsenal really needed to sign that many players, with a squad consisting of a prime Ashley Cole, Sol Campbell, Patrick Vieira, Kolo Touré, Dennis Bergkamp, Robert Pires, and finally the man himself, Thierry Henry. Yes, they could have strengthened their squad and maybe made a push for the Champions League, but what Arsenal would achieve that season is still talked about to this day. Arsenal went on an incredible 38-game unbeaten season run, which would crown them champions of England and snatch the title away from United. And while many players played key roles in this achievement, Thierry Henry scored 30 Premier League goals to help his side win and remain unbeaten. Henry was also crowned European Golden Boot winner due to his tally, and what Henry did that season truly was amazing. Yes, Arsenal got knocked out of the Champions League and FA Cup, but that achievement is still something to marvel at. Now we analyze the time period in which Thierry Henry lost the Ballon d'Or and FIFA World Player of the Year award. In 2003, Henry came second in both the FIFA and Ballon d'Or awards, making him the first player to be the runner-up in both of them. And in 2004 season, he came fourth in the Ballon d'Or and second in the FIFA rankings. Now I have to highlight something before we proceed. In today's world, the player with either the most goals or part of the Champions League winning team usually wins the Ballon d'Or. But back then the criteria were more subjective, and the people voting were more or less based on what they thought and who they thought had the best year. Hence you have two institutions who at the time have very different rankings of the world's best 10 players. Henry came fourth in the Ballon d'Or and second in the FIFA World Ranking. And this right here is why I feel he got robbed, due to the vastly different judging criteria on both sides splitting opinions, ultimately robbing him of either award. After a season of going unbeaten with his team, scoring 30 league goals and winning the European Golden Shoe, Thierry Henry should have at least one of the accolades. Winning the League Premier League Footballer of the Year and the top scorer, and ending the year with 46 goals for both club and country should have been enough for him to win, but the people who were voting that year did not see it as so. There are a few players who maybe should have won the Ballon d'Or or FIFA Player of the Year, but I think Thierry Henry's case is probably one of the strongest, hence the reason why I wanted to talk about it. History is set and it will never change. What Thierry Henry did on the field will forever be in the history books, and with his statue outside the Emirates, his exploits as a gunner will forever be immortalized. A player who had 5 consecutive 20-plus seasons as an Arsenal player and won the Premier League top scorer a record 4 times, he truly defined an era at Arsenal Football Club that was full of winning and trophies. But we can still wonder and examine history and see where the people maybe got it wrong. Do you think Henry deserved to win it? One or both? Or did you think that FIFA or France Football made the right decision? Tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like and share the video. Once again, thank you for watching. I appreciate your support and peace.